David, minister of the 12th hour Apostolic Sabbatarian Congregation Mount Zion at the 12th hour in the Liberty Hill, Texas. Today is August 22, 2013. It is 16th day of Elul, 2017. We'll start our first service today with a song entitled, I'll Go Where You Want Me to Go. It may not be on the mountain high, where over the stormy sea. It may not be at the battle's front, Yah will have need of me. But if by still small voice He called, if as I do not know, I'll answer Yah with my hand and thorn. I'll go where You want me to go. I'll go where You want me to go, dear Yah. What a mountain, a plain, or sea. I'll say what You want me to say, dear Yah. I'll be what You want me to be. Perhaps today there are loving words which Yahshua would have me speak. There may be now in the paths of sun someone whom I should see. Oh, Savior, if Thou wilt be my guide, no dark and rugged the way, my voice shall echo the message sweet. I'll say what You want me to say. I'll go where You want me to go, dear Yah. Or a mountain, a plain, or a sea. I'll say what You want me to say, dear Yahshua. I'll be what You want me to be. There's surely somewhere a lonely place, and earth feels so wide. And they labor to half-starved men, where Yahshua crucified. So trust in my heart Thy care. I know Thou lovest me. I'll do Thy will with a heart sincere. I'll be what You want me to be. I'll go where You want me to go, dear Yahshua. On mountain or plain or sea, I'll say what You want me to say, Yahshua. I'll be what You want me to be. Hello everyone. Once again, this is Elijah David coming to you. We've got a new message today. We're going to be dealing with the mighty Esau's and the unpretentious Jacobs. And we're going to take our note from V.T. Hollis' text of address, June the 14th, 1947. Now, folks, this is just many, many years ago, like 66 years ago, but it's present truth today. V.T. Hollis brought his text of address in the 10th parabolic hour. We're showing the fulfillment of them in the 12th parabolic hour. Now, in Romans chapter 9, Paul is talking to those Roman Gentiles. Now, he's trying to teach them the new and living way through the blood of the everlasting covenant that is his commission is to take the blood, the theme of the blood of the everlasting covenant, the plan of the salvation for the whole human race, unto the Gentiles, more notably, and then also to influence disciples, starting with Peter, not to show partiality between the Jew and the Gentile. So as Paul said in Ephesians chapter 2, we are brethren, created unto good works, and that we are made nigh by the blood of the Yahshua. And he says in Ephesians chapter 2, 3, and 4, chapter 1, 2, and 3, he says to the Gentiles there, he says this is a mystery hid from the foundation of the world. How? Through the blood of the Yahshua, through the new and living way, you are saved. You are not saved through faith in the blood of the animal that leads, which is your school teacher that brings you unto Yahshua. You're no longer under a tutor now. You're no longer under a school teacher. You're under the law of the Spirit of the life in Yahshua, and that's in Romans 8, chapter 2. Now, in Romans chapter 9, we're going to have, let's read Romans chapter 8 and 9 for our prayer thought. It may take up the whole sermon, but nonetheless, that's our theme. It's about the mighty Jacobs and the mighty Esau's and the unpretentious Jacob. There is therefore now no condemnation unto them which are in the Yahshua, Messiah, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. For the law of the Spirit of the life in the Yahshua hath made me free from the law of sin and death. Now what does it say there in John 17:3? This is life eternal, that they might know thee. Yahshua is talking to the disciples, and he's saying this is life eternal, that they might know the Heavenly Father. And the only Yahshua whom he has sent. Okay? And it goes on there in John 14:6, he says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. Okay, so now it's through the Spirit, it's through the law of the Spirit that is in Yahshua. And Yahshua is the author of the law of the sanctuary. He's the author of Leviticus 23, of all the feast days that recorded there. Starting with the seventh-day Sabbath. Yahshua is the Yahshua also of the Sabbath. Seventh-day Sabbath. He and the Father are co-authors together of all his commandments, statutes, and precepts of both the Ten Commandments and the ceremonial laws of the sanctuary. Alright? Now it says in Romans 8, chapter 3, Romans 8, verse 3, for what the law could not do, and that it is weak through the flesh, Yahweh sent his own Son in the likeness of the sinful flesh, and for sin condemned sin in the flesh, that the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us. Only the righteousness of the law. And what is the righteousness of the law? Is the articulating of the blood. Show how it is applied unto the human record for the redemption and for the saving of your soul. That the righteousness of the law, through the blood that is, might be fulfilled in us who walk not after the flesh, that's the carnal, but after the Spirit. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. For to be carnally minded is death. Surely, to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Just be spiritually minded. That's life and peace. Because the carnal mind is enmity against Yahweh and Yahshua, his Son. For it is not subject unto the law of the Yahweh. Neither indeed can be. Now, so then they that are in the flesh cannot please the Yahweh Elohim. But ye are not in the flesh, but in the Spirit. if so be that the spirit of Elohim dwell in you. Now, if any man have not the spirit of Yahshua, he is none of his. And if Yahshua be in you, the body is dead because of sin, but the spirit is life because of the righteousness that's in you. But if the spirit of him that raised up Yahshua from the dead dwell in you, he that raised up Yahshua from the dead shall also quicken your mortal bodies by his spirit that dwelleth in you. Therefore, brethren, we are debtors not unto the flesh, verily unto to live after the flesh. We're not debtors to the flesh to live after the flesh. For if we live after the flesh, ye shall die. But if you through the Spirit do mortify the deeds of the body, ye shall live. For as many as are led by the Spirit of Yahweh, they are the sons of the Yahweh Elohim. For ye have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear, but ye have received the spirit of the adoption, whereby we cry, Abba, Father. For the Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Yahweh Elohim. And if children, then heirs, heirs of the Yahweh Elohim, and joint heirs with the Yahshua, the Messiah, the Son. If so be that we suffer with him, you want to suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. For the earnest expectation of the creature waiteth for the manifestation of the sons of the Yahweh Elohim. For the creature was made subject unto vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who has subjected the same in the hope, because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty of the children of the Elohim. Now he's going to take all these clean animals that he created, and he's going to purify their blood too. It's been mixed up also. And they're going to be delivered from the bondage of the corruption that they're in. Read about that in Isaiah 11 from one place. For we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in the pain together until now. The whole creation. All the animals, everything. The fish in the sea. The fowl in the air. Under tremendous attack by the human being. Not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit. Even we ourselves grown within ourselves, waiting for the adoption to witness the redemption of our body. For we are saved by the hope, but hope that is seen is not hope, before the man seeth, why doth he yet hope for it? But if we hope for that we see not, then do we with patience wait for it. Likewise, the Spirit also helpeth our infirmities, for we know not what we should pray for, as we ought. Verily, the Spirit itself maketh intercession for us, with the groanings which cannot be uttered. And he that searches the hearts knoweth what is the mind of the Spirit, because he maketh intercession for the saints, according unto the will of the Yahweh Elohim. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love the Elohim, unto them who are the called according unto his purpose. For whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate to be conformed unto the image of his Son, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. Moreover, whom he did predestinate, him he also called. So apparently, was predestinated. Because I was definitely called to fill this office. And whom he called, them he also justified, and whom he justified, them he also glorified. So, he called them, he justified them. And let's read that again now. He says, for we know that all things work together for good unto them that love the Yahweh Elohim, unto them who are the called according unto his purpose. So everything works together for those who's called according to his purpose. Now he says, for whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate to be conformed unto the image of his Son, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. For over whom he did predestinate, him he also called. Okay. So, we've been through that. He said the reason for this is to be conformed to the image of his Son. These are the predestinated ones. What shall we say then unto these things? If Elohim be for us, who can be against us? He that spared not his own Son, but delivered him up for us all. Now what does it mean for us all? All of us predestinated ones. Not anyone else. All those that will be saved from Adam clear down to the end of time are predestinated. Every last one. He that spared not his own Son, but delivered him up for us all, how shall he not with him also freely give us all things? Who shall lay anything under the charge of Elohim's elect? It is Elohim that justifies. Who is he that condemneth? It is the Yahshua that died, yea, rather, that is risen again. Who is even at the right hand of the Elohim, who also maketh intercession for us? Now, who is Yahshua making intercession for us? The predestinated ones, the elect. Those that are elected according to the election of grace. Those that are covered by the blood. Only those that are covered by the blood. Who shall separate us from the love of Yahshua? Shall tribulation or distress, or persecution or famine or nakedness or peril or sword? As it is written, for thy sake we are killed all the day long. We are accounted as sheep for the slaughter. Nay, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him that loved us. And what does it say in Proverbs? I love those that love me. What does Yahshua himself say in John 15:10? If you love me, keep my commandments. So if you want to abide in my law, he says, if you keep my commandments, you shall abide in my law. Yahshua's talking here. His commandments are the commandments the same as the Father's commandments. Even as I've kept my Father's commandments and abide in his law. What does Yahshua mean when he says, I've kept my Father's commandments? His Father sent his Son down here to redeem mankind by his blood. It's in the power of the Father to allow Yahshua to die and to raise him back again from the dead. It says so right there in Hebrews 13:20. That Yahweh, through the power of the blood of the everlasting covenant, raised his Son from the dead. And what does it say in Hebrews chapter 5? Yahshua is obedient unto death, even to the death of the cross. What does it mean, obedient? Obedient unto the Father's commands and will. So, he kept his Father's commandments clear to the cross. Not obeying every command that his Father told him to do. So in John 15:10, Yahshua recorded it. He said, if you keep my commandments, you shall abide in my law, even as I've kept my Father's commandments and abide in his law. What would have happened if Yahshua hadn't kept all his Father's commandments? He would have never made it to the cross. And that song that I wrote, Dusty Roads and Sandal Feet, would have never been written. Now, it says right there in Hebrews chapter 5. Let's just go right there to it. And then we'll maybe come back to Romans chapter 9 and finish up. For every high priest taken from among men is ordained for men in things pertaining unto the Yahweh Elohim. that he may offer both gifts and sacrifices for sins. So who is Yahshua, and what is his main object? Is to offer both gifts and sacrifices for sins unto the Father on your behalf, the predestinated ones, that is, who can have compassion on the ignorant and on them that are out of the way, who can have compassion on thee, so that he himself also is compassed with infirmity. Yahshua is compassed with infirmities. How can he have compassion on those that he was touched by? And by reason hereof he ought, as for the people, so also for himself to offer for sin. And no man taketh this honor unto himself, but he that is called of the Yahweh. Here's that called again, folks. He that is called of the Yahweh. I was called of the Yahweh by the prophecy. Elijah, the antipode, Malachi 4:5, I was called by the prophecy. That he that is called Elohim, as was Aaron, so also Yahshua glorified, not himself to be made an high priest. But he that said unto him, Thou art my son, today have I begotten thee. So it says, Yahweh the Father glorified him. And as he saith also in another place, thou art a priest forever, after the order of the Melchizedek, forever. So now, when did Yahshua start his priesthood then, if he's a priesthood forever? He started at the Garden of Eden to officiate in behalf of the sinner, starting with Adam and Eve, after they were cast out of paradise. First day, out in the world, to till the soil by the sweat of their brow now, but the death sentence pronounced upon them. One day they're going to die, but they can have eternal life if this here high priest Yahshua can officiate for them, be their propitiation, be their mediator, to be their advocate, to be their go-between, between them and their sin and the Father. It all started right at the Garden of Eden. Who in the days of his flesh, when he had offered up prayers and supplications with a strong crying and tears unto him that was able to save him from the death, and was heard in that he feared, though he were a son, yet learned he obedience by the things which he suffered. Well, all right, he suffered in the Garden of Gethsemane greatly on the night that he was taken to be crucified. He did his greatest suffering then. And he asked the Father if it be his will to let that cup depart from him, but he says, not so, let it be fulfilled. Yahshua is willing to always do the Father's will. And being made perfect, he became the author of the eternal salvation unto all them that obey him. Called of the Elohim and high priest, after the order of the Melchizedek, of whom we have many things to say and hard to be uttered, seeing you are dull of the hearing. When for the time you ought to be teachers, you have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of the Yahweh Elohim, and are become such as have need of milk and not of the strong meat. Everyone that uses milk is unskillful in the word of the righteousness. See? The word of the righteousness is the end of the law. The word of the righteousness is correctly articulating the word of the blood, how it applies, how to simulate it. For he is a babe. But strong meat belongeth unto them that are of the full age, even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil. Well, I dare say that I've had my senses exercised to discern both good and evil starting in about 2001 at Kermit, Texas. Okay. Now, it says here in Hebrews chapter 6, verse 1, therefore, leaving the principles of the doctrine of the Yahshua, let us go on unto perfection. Okay? Not laying again the foundation of the repentance from dead works and of the faith in the blood of the Yahshua toward Yahweh. Right? Your dead works is your animal sacrifice. Don't go back and lay those again. Where you have to exercise your faith through that blood toward Yahweh the Father. No, you don't do that no more. You exercise your faith directly by the Spirit of the life that is in the Yahshua, that is present now among you. Your faith is directly in that blood of His, and He will take and represent you with gifts and offerings to the Father at the appropriate and appointed times. More notably, at the third hour of the day and the ninth hour, and more notably on the Day of Atonement, for the time for the blotting out or the retaining of records. Blotting out by the blood, and retaining their names in the Lamb's Book of Life, or blotting out the names. Okay. Now, we're going to go back to Romans. Now, we're going to deal with now Romans chapter 9. I say the truth in Yahshua. I lie not. My conscience also bearing me witness in the Yahweh Spirit, that I have a great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart. For I could wish that myself were accursed from the Yahshua for my brethren, my kinsmen according unto the flesh, who are Israelites, unto whom pertaineth the adoption, and the glory, and the covenants, and the giving of the law, and the service of the Elohim, and the promises, whose are the fathers, and of whom that is concerning the flesh, Yahshua can, who is over all, Elohim blessed forever. Hallelujah. Not as though the word of the Elohim had taken none effect, for they are not all Israel, which are of the Israel. Neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children. But in Isaac shall thy seed be called. Who's he talking about? He's talking about the Ishmaels and the Isaacs here now. And the Ishmaels and the Isaacs turned into Esau's and the Jacobs. Did you get that? Ishmael, the firstborn of Abraham by the flesh, of the Egyptian woman, cast out. Not heir with Isaac. One who was born of the Spirit, the secondborn. Esau, firstborn of Isaac, the son of Abraham. Represents the seed of Ishmael, born of the flesh. Those that are born of the Spirit represents the Jacobites. Represented by the Jacobs. So in Romans 9 verse 8, that is they which are the children of the flesh, and today that would be the Esauites, and we know who those were. We were separated from them down at Clement 2002. These are not the children of the Elohim, but the children of the promise are counted for the seed. Who are the children of the promise? The 12 sons of Jacob. That makes up the hierarchy of the 12 tribes of Israel. And Revelation 14:1 and Revelation 7 is 144,000. So this is the word of the promise. At this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son. And not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of the Elohim according to the election might stand, not of the works, but of him that called it. Okay, in our day, that translates into Esau and Jacob being born in 1970 from the Adventist Church. It is said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with the Yahweh? Yahweh forbid. For he saith unto Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So then it is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of the Elohim that showeth mercy. Okay, so who did he show mercy to? Then it Kermit 2002. The mighty Esau, Brother Johnson, or the unpretentious Jacob, the lies of David. Well, we know the answer to that. Let's go on. Verse 17 of Romans 9. For the scripture saith unto the Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth. So why did he raise Esau up? Just to lose out, that he might show his power through him. Show how Esau could, by making a right or a wrong choice, can go either way also. He had the power of choice. Jacob did too. Jacob made the right choice. Esau made the wrong choice, even though he was born in the flesh. Not preordained for what Jacob was. Still, if he'd have made the right choice, Yahweh would have blessed him and saved him and his household and all the seed after him. Would have made him another nation, but nevertheless he could have saved him by making the right choice. Therefore hath he mercy on whom he will have mercy. Okay, so he had mercy on Jacob, his 12 sons. 144,000, that's who he had mercy on. And whom he will, he hardened. Okay. So he hardened Pharaoh, he hardened antithetical Esau, he hardened typical Esau, he hardened their heart. He hardened the heart of Cain, firstborn of Adam. He hardened the heart of Ham, the secondborn of Noah. Thou wilt say then unto me, why doth he yet find fault? For who hath resisted his will? Nay, but, O man, who art thou that repliest against the Yahweh? Shall the thing formed say unto him that formed it, why hast thou made me thus? Hath not the potter power over the clay? Okay. The potter now, what did Jeremiah 18 have to say about that? Well, Jeremiah, a very prolific writer and prophet, he just, there in Jeremiah 18:6, he says that, O house of Israel, cannot I do with you as this potter? Saith the Yeshua. Behold, as the clay is in the potter's hand, so are ye in mine hand, O house of Israel. Okay. So now, the house of Israel is in the potter's hand. And Esau was born in the house of Israel, and he was of the Israelites, but not an Israelite. So now, it says there in Romans 9:22, what if Elohim willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, and endured with the much long suffering the vessels of the wrath fitted unto the destruction, and that he might make known the riches of his glory on the vessels of the mercy which he had afore prepared unto the glory, even as whom he hath called not of the Jews only, but also of the Gentiles. As he saith also in O.C., I will call them my people, which were not my people. So apparently he's talking about Hosea here. And her beloved, which was not beloved. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, you are not my people, there shall they be called the children of the living Elohim. So, in the 11th parabolic hour, Jacobites were not called his people. But in the 12th parabolic hour, they're called his people. Isaiah also cries concerning Israel. Though the number of the children of Israel be as the sand of the sea, a remnant shall be saved. For he will finish the work and cut it short in the righteousness, which all the short work will Yahshua make upon the earth. What does it mean, cut it short in righteousness? 12 hours a day. Only the 12th hour is set aside, one single hour, to bring in everlasting righteousness and the seal of the covenant, to resurrect all the righteous dead, and to destroy and put down all earthly kingdoms and destroy all the wicked in them during this 12th parabolic hour. And how does he cut it short in righteousness? By bringing forth a purified army of 144,000 to start with. And how does he cut it short in righteousness? By going forward to the world and subduing and destroying all the wicked and all these evil nations. Literally having a mandate for doing this. And as Isaiah said before, except the Yahshua of the Sabbath had left us a seed, we had been as a Sodoma and been made like unto the Gomorrah. You will read Revelation 11 now and read about how the house of Esau was made like unto Sodom and Gomorrah. What shall we say then? That the Gentiles which followed not after the righteousness have attained unto the righteousness, even the righteousness which is of the faith in the blood of the Yahshua. I might add. That Israel which followed after the law of the righteousness, followed after the law of the righteousness, in other words, the law that pointed out, that commanded the blood of the animal to be supplied at the appointed time for the sinner. That's the law of the righteousness, the law that governs the blood. They have not attained unto the law of the righteousness. How come they had not attained unto the law of the righteousness? The law of the righteousness is the law of the Spirit in Yahshua now. The law of the righteousness of the old covenant, of the blood of the animal, no longer is appropriate. It's the blood of Yahshua. As it is written, behold, I lay in Zion a stumbling stone and a rock of the offense, and whosoever believeth on him shall not be ashamed. And then it said, behold, as it is written, behold, I lay in Zion a stumbling stone. Now this S-I-O-N is spelled, this is how the Greeks spell it. But the Hebrew spelled it with a Z. It's one of the same, Zion and Sion. Okay, it says, and whosoever believeth on him shall not be ashamed. And it goes on in Romans chapter 10, verse 1, it says, brethren, my heart's desire and prayer unto the Yahweh for the Israel is that they might be saved. For I bear them record that they have a zeal of the Elohim, but not according unto the knowledge. For they being ignorant of the Yahshua's righteousness, that is, ignorant of the blood of the everlasting covenant that flows through the veins of Yahshua, and going about to establish their own righteousness, but playing the cloak and dagger part, have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of the Yahweh Elohim. For the Yahshua is the end of the law for the righteousness unto everyone that believeth. Okay. Believeth in what? In his blood. And how he applies it unto you. For the Moses describeth the righteousness which is of the law, that the man which doeth those things shall live by them. And he's telling the people the righteousness of the law is through this blood of the everlasting covenant that is enjoined unto you. That's in Exodus 24:8. That's the blood of the animal that he ratified that book with the covenant with, and enjoined it unto the house of Israel at that time. That blood was the righteousness of the law. That was what the righteousness of the law was. But the righteousness which is of the faith in the blood of the Yahshua speaketh on this wise. Say not in thine heart, who shall ascend into the heavens? That is to bring Yahshua down from above. Or who shall descend into the deep? That is to bring up Yahshua again from the dead. But what saith it? The word, which Yahshua is the word in the flesh, is nigh thee, even in thy mouth. And in thy heart, that is the word of the faith and the blood of Yahshua which we preach. That if thou shalt confess with thy mouth the Yahshua Messiah, and shalt believe in thine heart that Elohim hath raised him from the dead, thou shalt be saved. All right, now in Hebrews 13:20, we might quickly turn to that and read about how Yahweh the Father raised his Son up through the blood of the everlasting covenant. And for what purpose? To make you perfect. But Hebrews 13:20 says it, 13:20. Now, the Yahweh of the peace, that brought again from the dead our Savior Yahshua, that great shepherd of the sheep, through the blood of the everlasting covenant, make you perfect in every good work to do his will, working in you that which is well pleasing in his sight, through the Yahshua Messiah, unto whom be glory forever and ever. Hallelujah. So now, it says, in Romans chapter 10, it says, verse 11, for the scripture saith, whosoever believeth on him shall not be ashamed, for there is no difference between the Jew and the Greek. Well, no, because the Greeks are also Jews. They're Hebrew, I mean. Your Jew is from the tribe of Judah. All right. For the same Yahshua over all is rich unto all that call upon him. For whosoever shall call upon the name of the Yahshua shall be saved. How then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed? And how shall they believe in him of whom they have not heard? And how shall they hear without a preacher? And how shall they preach except they be sent? As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of them that preach the gospel of the peace and bring glad tidings of the good things. Where is it written at? Well, it's written right there, I believe it's Isaiah 52:7. Let's go read it. Isaiah had the prophecy on it. Here Paul is quoting Isaiah for his day, and now I'm quoting both Paul and Isaiah for our day in this 12th hour, showing how the prophecy is progressive through the ages of time. Isaiah 52, verse 1. Awake, awake, put on thy strength, O Zion, put on thy beautiful garments, O Jerusalem, the holy city. Ellen G. White, with the inspiration one day, wrote, spoke it, and said, she was showing that the Adventist church is the holy city here on earth. Only 144,000 comes forth does that holy city show up. For henceforth there shall no more come unto thee the uncircumcised and the unclean. When is that? In the 12th parabolic hour, once this holy city is made up. Shake thyself from the dust, rise and sit down, O Jerusalem. Loose thyself from the bands of thy neck, O captive daughter of Zion. Who's the captive daughter of Zion? The house of David. Okay, now back to Romans chapter 10, verse 16. But they have not all obeyed the gospel. What does it mean, obeyed the gospel? Obeyed the law of the blood. For Isaiah said, Yeshua, who hath believed our report? So then faith in the blood of Yeshua cometh by the hearing, and hearing by the word of the Elohim. And who is the word of the Elohim? It's Yeshua in the flesh, John 1:14. But I say, have they not heard? Yes, verily, their sound went into all the earth, and their words unto the ends of the world. But I say, did not Israel know? First Moses said, I will provoke you unto jealousy by them that are no people, and by a foolish nation I will anger you. But Isaiah is very bold, and said, I have found of them that sought me not. I was made manifest unto them that asked not after me. Verily unto Israel he said, all day long have I stretched forth my hand unto a disobedient and a gainsaying people. What does it mean, all day long have I done this? Just 12. John 11:9 says, are there not 12 hours in the day? Now let's look at this all day long thing. I've stretched my hand out all day long. Now in my chart, on my chart here, my 24-hour parabolic time chart, it's actually a 12-hour parabolic chart. You got 12 hours of daylight, 12 hours of again daylight, and that's reason there's only 12 hours a day, 12 hours at a time, folks. 24 hours a day, you get 2 12-hour periods in one day, accounted for. The side of the world in which we live, we get our 12 hours when the sun comes up. The sun goes down on us, it comes up on the other side of the world, we get them 12 hours of daylight. Alright, so we actually, in one day, we also have 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of darkness. Okay, for both sides of the world. Now, he says all the day long. Starting with the first hour, with Moses and children of Israel coming out of Egypt. They have been rebellious from 1500 BC, starting with Moses, in the first hour of the day, right here, going this way, and the sun has risen on all of Israel for the last 3,500 years through the word, the written word. Moses wrote it down. And it has been reproduced all through the century, and that parabolic day reached true up to 2002, 11 hours of it, 2002. All the day long, he says, have I stretched forth my hands unto a disobedient and gainsaying people. That means fulfill the tail end of this all day long, right here in the 11th parabolic hour, ending right here at the beginning of the 12th parabolic hour. For 3,500 years, Yeshua has been stretched forth his hands unto a disobedient and gainsaying house of Israel. Gainsaying. Always saying, I'm the true one in my time. Yet he has to judge them, bring them into on from step by step. Through 11 hours, he went through this. Comes to the last hour, the 12th hour, the last day of the day, he set that aside for the harvest. And now he brings forth a man after his own heart, that's Antipode Elijah. Antipode David, the spirit and power of Elijah, willing to do and dare whatever he calls upon him to do. Okay, so now you have to be willing to forsake all, give up all. And so now, as we get along here, we're going to go to Matthew 22 and see what Matthew 22 has to tell us now. Let's just change the flavor up just a little bit here. says, and Yahshua answered and spake unto them again by the parables, and said, For the kingdom of the heaven is likened unto a certain king, which made a marriage for his son. Okay. And sent forth his servants to call them that were bidden unto the wedding. And they would not come. Again he sent forth other servants, saying, Tell them which are bidden, Behold, I have prepared my dinner, my oxen and my fatlings are killed, and all things are ready to come unto the marriage. Now, folks, only in this 12th parabolic hour is this invitation given. Okay. And no doubt, it being given unto the 144,000, they have accepted that invitation. They're going to come and partake of it. The house of David has already accepted the invitation. 2002 is when this invitation was extended to come to the marriage feast. Rose Johnson and company were the first ones invited to break over, get rid of their filthy garments, put on their wedding garments so that they could come on into the marriage feast of the Lamb. They turned it down. But they made light of it and went their ways, one to his farm, another to his merchandise. And the remnant took his servants and entreated them spitefully and slew them. But when the king heard thereof, he was wroth, and he sent forth his armies, and destroyed those murderers. Where is his armies found at? Ezekiel 9. 5 angels with the slaughtering weapons in their hands. Starts at the house of Israel. Separating the wheat and the tares, the good and the bad. Separating the murderers. And you know who those murderers are. That's those Jesuits that took over the office of the presidency of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, and his officers. That's your murderers for the Adventist Church. The murderers for the Davidians, or those Davidian leaders that broke off and formed their own cults after B.T. Hart died in 1955, starting with the Roses. They didn't break off for 15 years, but then after 15 years was up, they certainly broke off. The Roses did, and did continue on. And they didn't have a commission. Being murderers, that's what happened to the tail end of the Roses. They were burned out at New Mount Carmel, and the whole wide world saw it. The government went out there and killed them, destroyed them, burned them out. That was the end of those murderers. And burned up their city. Well, literally burned up the city of New Mount Carmel. Burned the whole thing to the ground. Killed all the inhabitants. Put a bullet through their brain. Then said he unto his servants, The wedding is ready, but they which were bidden were not ready. Who is his servant? Those that are at the head of the candlestick, the priesthood, the ministry of the house of Israel. Go ye therefore into the highways, and as many as ye shall find bidden to the marriage. So those servants went out into the highways and gathered together all as many as they found, both bad and good, and the wedding was furnished with the guests. And when the king came in to see the guests, he saw there a man who had not on a wedding garment. So did not tell you that that invitation was given starting at Termination Gilead Center, 2002. That's when the invitation was first given. So here's the latest servant in charge of the candlestick. Okay. And he saith unto him, Friend, how camest thou in hither, not having a wedding garment? And he was speechless. Then said the king unto the servant, Bind him hand and foot, and take him away, and cast him into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of the teeth, for many are called, but few are chosen. Okay. Pharisees, they tempted Yeshua. Then went the Pharisees and took counsel how they might entangle him in his talk. And they sent out unto him their disciples with the Herodians, saying, Master, we know that thou art true, and teachest the way of the Yahweh, the Father, in the truth. What does it say in Psalm 119, 142? Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. So here the Pharisees acknowledging this. They're saying, we know that thou art true, and teachest the way of the Yahweh and the truth. Neither carest thou for any man, but thou regardest not the person of men. Tell us therefore, what thinkest thou? Is it lawful to give tribute unto Caesar or not? Really Yahshua perceived their wickedness and said, Why tempt ye me, ye hypocrites? Show me the tribute money. And he brought unto him a penny. And he saith unto them, Whose is this image and superscription? They say unto him, Caesar's. Then saith he unto them, Render therefore unto Caesar the things which are Caesar's, and unto the Yahweh Elohim the things that are the Yahweh's. What are we supposed to render unto Yahweh the Father? A benevolent and an obedient spirit, just to do his will in all things he called upon us for. Were the Pharisees doing this? I dare say not. When they had heard these words, they marveled and left him and went their way. Now we're getting close to the end of our study this hour. We're going to close this out with the last few verses of Matthew 22. It says, verse 41, While the Pharisees were gathered together, Yahshua asked them, saying, What think you of Yahshua? Whose son is he? They say unto him, The son of David. Okay, I also am a son of David. He saith unto them, How then doth David in spirit call him master, saying, The master said unto my master, Sit thou on my right hand, till I make thine enemies thy footstool. If David then called him master, how is he his son? And no man was able to answer him a word, neither durst any man from that day forth ask him any more questions. This brings in our study, so you can contact us at the 11 call. That's number 11, tomorrow on your Lord God, Jesus, message Lord. We're going to close now with a song entitled, My Hope is Built on Nothing Less. Joshua's blood and righteousness. Until I trust the sweetest friend, but wholly lean on Joshua's name. On Joshua the solid rock I stand, all other ground and sinking sand. All other ground is sinking sand. And darkness veils his lovely face, I rest on his unchanging ray. And every high and stormy gale, my anchor holds within the veil. Joshua the solid rock I stand, all other ground is sinking sand. All other ground is sinking sand. Years of his covenant, his blood supports me in the coming flood. When all around my soul gives way, within his soul my hope can stay. On Joshua the solid rock I stand, all other ground